still eliminate systems where the coefficients do not match. And in order to do that, you need to multiply one of the equations or both of them in order to get the coefficients to be identical. Write down equation 1 and equation 2 and pause the video until you have that done. You have a little freedom in solving this system. You can decide if you want to get rid of the x terms or the y terms. If I want to get rid of the x terms, I need to make these coefficients match. So I would have to come up with the least common multiple of these two numbers. That would be a 6. In order to get a 6 in my first equation, I need to multiply it by 2, producing a new equivalent equation that now has a 6 as a coefficient of x. You need to do the same thing downstairs. But remember, I'm trying to get that x to have a 6 in front of it. So I would multiply by 3. Now you can see that your equations have the same coefficients out front of the x. And it becomes the same lesson as the previous video. So I need to decide if I'm going to add or subtract to eliminate my x variables. Because they're the same sign, I'm going to subtract all my columns. Because 6 minus 6 is 0. And continue on. You have 12 minus a negative 9, so be careful about that because these two negatives make a positive. 12 minus a negative 9 is the same as 12 plus 9. And that's 21. Over on the left side, or I'm sorry, the right side, I have 12 minus 12, and that's 0. And that sometimes happens, and it is what it is. So you finish up solving by dividing by 21, and you end up with y equals 0. Now you need to take that y, and you have options again. You can substitute it into any 4 of these equations to find out what x is. But of course these are going to have smaller numbers to deal with, so I will just take equation 1, the first one. And so I will take 3 times x plus 6, substitute in my 0 for y to get 6. And I have 3x equals 6. And clean it up to see that x equals 2. And when I check that mentally, I see it works in both equations. So the only new thing you've learned here is that sometimes you need to multiply either one or both your equations by a number in order to get your coefficients the same. Let's have you practice this concept. Here's your new system. Remember, you can decide either to eliminate the x's or the y's. Just get those coefficients the same by coming up with a number to multiply them by so that happens. Pause the video. Now I chose to eliminate the y's. You certainly could have eliminated the x's, and your answers should be the same no matter how you went about solving this, because there is only one solution to this system, and it is -5, 1.